So it's my favorite time of the month. It's Union County Public Schools Board of Education meeting time. I love it. Hey, I love it. I make an event of it. Um, I usually try not to work too late. I want to get home. I want my dinner done. I probably go get me a bottle of Yellowtail Cab. Um, I'm gonna burn a little bit of sage because I want to get comfortable and I want to enjoy because I know my people not gonna let me down. Union County will never let me down, and I love to laugh. Um, I love that, but I also believe that with everything we gain, we have to gain understanding, and so there were a lot of questions that I received. Um, Mainly on so it was what's going on was one of the questions. Why everybody so upset? What's in the new standard? And one of my favorite the favorite question that somebody hit me up in my inbox and they asked me, they said, who is Stacy Staggs? I'm gonna try and answer all of them. Try and answer everything. So hold up. We gonna get into it. Cause it's this is I laugh at it, y'all, but it's very important that we pay attention to what's going on. Cause all in all, this is for our kids. Our kids go to school here. My nieces, my nephews, my cousins. We all going to school in Union County. So we need to understand who are making decisions and what decisions are being made or are not being made for our kids. So the main this is what everybody mad about. On February the 4th of this year, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, they released their new a new standard and for American history. So in this standard, there's a lot of language that some people are not comfortable with, and let me see. In particular, the language that's in the what is it? The behavioral science section. I forget what dash it is, but basically, you have to. So what the standards are is the state gives you the standards, and you line up your curriculum or how you're going to teach based on those standards. But you have to make sure that your students know the things that's in the standards. One thing that's in the standards that you have to do is you have to explain how the experiences and the achievements of minorities and marginalized peoples have contributed to American identity. That's one part of the standard. There's another part of the standard that's in civics and government, and it says that you have to explain how racism, oppression, and discrimination have impacted equality and power in America. Um, some people don't want to talk about that because when you talk about that, it leads to other conversations, and I get it. I understand it. But all in all, the reason I'm here, the reason I'm in front of you today is to let my people know that there's an election going on. There's an election that's going on in 2022. We need to prepare for it now. We need to see what's going on now because this election that's going on in 2022 is very important. And I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I am going to inform you about something important that was said, and somebody that holds a chair, actually the chair of policy for Union County Public Schools Board of Education, and that is one Miss Melissa Merrell. Um, she was elected to District 4 in 2014. She was reelected in 2018, and that reelection will expire next year. Her, along with two other members, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll talk about that on a later date. But I will want to talk about something that was brought up that when I was laughing on the video, but I just want to explain the connection so that you guys, the voters, that we can all see what's really going on. Miss Merrill, and this is according to her Lincoln account. This is not me like spreading anything. She's a member of the Sweet Union Republican Women's, what is it called? The Sweet Union Republican Women's. That's an organization in like Union County. She's been a member there since October 2014. But what I also found out that she is a member of this organization. I don't know if it's Mothers for Liberty or Moms for Liberty. And let me get it straight. There's nothing wrong with her being a member of these organizations. She has the right. But like I said, there is an election coming up. She has a right to do what she want to do, but at the same time, we have to have an understanding of who we're voting for, and we can't keep voting for the same people simply because they have been holding the position. You know what I'm saying? We got to know what's going on. Was it the May 4th? I want to say it was June, for March, April, May 4th. During the May 4th meeting, when y'all got up there and y'all turned up. If people don't got nothing else in the world, I always say this: they're gonna have the audacity. And I was wondering, what is giving these people the audacity to sit up here and say the things that they're saying? Say stuff like,
my kids go to Union Academy, which I know is outside of your jurisdiction, but they are a school, character school. And unfortunately, they are pushing diversity, inclusion, and equity. Today, they asked...
She real life said, unfortunately.
Critical race theory, wokeism, and anti-racism, to name a few. But make no mistake, it is Marxism. Mark into the principles that anti-racism stands for, you realize that it is actually promoting the very thing that its name claims it's against, racism. The way this plays out in the real world is that people are separated into two groups. People with white skin are said to be the oppressors holding all the power. People with brown skin are said to be the oppressed and powerless. The color of your skin is the only factor used to determine which group you belong to.
So the color of your skin is the only thing that determines this. So none of the laws that was made against certain people, none of that matters. That's what you're saying. You're saying that they're basing this simply, none of the history matters. Okay.
Individual factors like behaviors, life situations, and socioeconomic status have no bearing on your group placement. People with white skin are told that they are inherently racist and responsible for all racism on a whole, thus making them the constant villain. People with brown skin are told that it is not possible for them to be racist, and everything bad in their lives can be linked back to the systemic racism supported and implemented by whites, thus making them the constant victim.
Ma'am, that's not true. Nobody's saying that. That's what you feel like. That's what you're feeling like. Nobody's saying that, man. They're just teaching history. That's all. They're teaching history. And the facts is that certain people were oppressed. And certain people did the oppressing. That, you're right, that has nothing to do with who I am now, but it has a lot to do with society. It does. So I'm sorry that you feel the way you do, man. But what you're saying is bullshit.
In Springfield, Missouri, a middle school forced teachers to locate themselves on an oppression matrix based on the idea that straight, white, English-speaking Christian males are members of the oppressor class and must atone for their privilege and covert white supremacy. In Philadelphia, an elementary school forced fifth graders to celebrate Black communism and simulate a Black Power rally to free 1960s radical Angela Davis from prison, where she had once been held on charges of murder. Mr. Rufo is only one investigative journalist, but he has developed a database of more than 1,000 of these stories.
First and foremost, that Angela Davis assignment was a hell of an idea. Secondly, do you want to know where I went on a field trip when I was in elementary school? To pick fucking cotton. Get over it. Ain't that what y'all say?
To our children. Well, for the white children, it will create an environment that breeds shame, self-hatred, and eventually resentment towards people of color. For the children of color, it will teach them that they have no personal responsibility for anything that happens to them, causing them to feel powerless and ultimately adopt a victim mentality.
Yeah, I don't know why older white women always feel like they are the perfect professionals and have the perfect advice for how black kids feel. But let me put you in on something. Black kids already feel powerless. This standard is not going to make black kids feel like victims and powerless. They already feel like that. We you're right. We have to reverse back, but the way is for some identity, showing that you have identity in this country, showing that you are somebody. Your culture is somebody to be proud of. What about that? I mean, you could be right, but there's another way to look at it. I don't even know why. Like, why don't you even consider that? I can't believe that they're saying this stuff in public. I can't believe that they're saying these things in public. What would give them the audacity? And then when I realized, okay, of course they're going to be comfortable if somebody who's sitting on the chair, they just got finished talking to them in an outside meeting that we know anything about. I'm not saying that they're doing, but if they're in a group together, then evidently they're holding conversation together. And why are you saying this? Why is this important? Okay, it's important because it's dangerous when these kind of groups make posts that look like this. So this was posted in the Moms for Liberty Facebook group. And I'll just go ahead. It was in regards to a release that Union Academy made about their new hire of one. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, Miss Sharon V. Sylvester. Okay, so it says, "Heads up, Union Academy. Time to find out everything you can about this lady so you know exactly what you're dealing with. M4L is here to help any way we can. Any way we can, they here to help. If anyone knows any additional info on this lady, or if anyone has spare time to do a deep dive, please comment." Moms for Life, I don't know if y'all reading the same. You want to do a deep dive? You know what? I got y'all. I got time. You want to do a deep dive? Here you go right here. Miraculously, is right under your post. It says, "We are pleased to announce that Miss Sylvester has accepted the newly created position of Dean of Curriculum, Assessment, and Inclusion, K through 12. This position has been in the making for several months. They've been trying to find somebody for this position for several months in response to the need for greater curriculum planning and student data analysis across the grades K through 12. All of these people who are educated to find this position has been looking for somebody for several months. Are you guys saying that they can't do their job? Because they feel like ideally suited for this key academic role would be Miss Sylvester, who she already served with UA as a high school counselor over the past 8 years. She been there already. Why all of a sudden do we need to start doing deep dives on this woman? Why? And even before that, she spent 18 years of her life as an educator, where she served schools and districts across the country, leading professional development for educators and trainers for parents. She been doing this. And so what's really the problem? And you know what, like, get me is always the saying that people, we're letting go of America or is destroying America. But this standard, it's only a few states that have not accepted the standard. But we want our kids to be advanced when the rest of the world has already moved accordingly to how our nation, how America is telling us we should move, and somehow going against it. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of funny to me. It's just kind of funny to me. Like, no, there's no. It's not demonizing white people. This is what I want you to understand. First of all, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent thinker. I have an independent mind, and it's not demonizing white people to talk about slavery and say that slavery existed. No, you were not around then. You don't have anything to do with what happened then. But cause and effect is a real thing. I don't care how much it hurts somebody's feelings. Cause and effect is a real thing. And this is on both ends, for every race, for every group, black, white, Hispanic. You know, I follow a lot of the teachings and understandings of Thomas Sowell, but all in all, there are no excuses. There are no excuses, but at the same time, you cannot ignore the truth. We're just not going to teach it because it may make some students feel bad. Man, what about the student that goes through school and never learns about his own people? How does that make them feel? I mean, come on now. Like let's be real. Let's be real. You know, talk to your kids when they come home. If they have questions about the curriculum, talk to them about it. You know, talk to them about it. The same way that black parents had to talk to their kids when they came home, and all they was learning about black history was they were slaves being beat up. And then you color a picture of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and then you eat some peanuts. George Washington Carver, Happy Black History Month, go home. Come on. Let's be real. Let's teach all of it, and it's okay. And let's deal with it and move forward. If that's what we're doing, that's all. I think it's very important that we understand that, and we have to understand who we dealing with, what we dealing with, and it's like this is a free country. This is America. You're free to do what you want to do, but the voters need to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. You gotta move. Anybody that don't want your babies to learn that they beautiful and to learn about them, and to learn what contributions they have made to society. You know, that's just something I wanted to put out there. Peace, love, blessings to all y'all. You know, please understand that the most important thing that you want to understand today, make no mistake, I am Stacey Staggs. I am her. She is me. You feel what I'm saying? Don't ask no more. Don't ask no more. Peace.